Hey guys, I'm Redeemed Zoomer, and today I'm announcing that we are expanding the Reconquista movement so that anyone who wants to join can. For those of you who don't know, Operation Reconquista is a movement that I started along with several other young Christians last year to retake the mainline Protestant churches. The mainline Protestant denominations are those big historic Protestant denominations like the Episcopal Church and the United Methodist Church that are full of Protestant history and heritage, but have been hijacked by secular progressives who don't believe in the essentials of Christianity. So Reconquista is the movement for Christians to retake these denominations and bring the gospel of Christ back to these denominations, rather than doing what conservatives usually do, which is split off, run away, and start something new. So the central focus of Reconquista has just been retaking mainline Protestant denominations. This started in 2023. It was a decentralized movement, and we had a Discord where dozens and then hundreds and then thousands of young mainline Protestants began joining to help retake their denominations. We got a bunch of pastors on board, and even though this movement was never official, it was just sort of an unofficial community, several official organizations spawned in the incubator of our Discord server, such as the Episcopal Fellowship for Renewal, dedicated to retaking the Episcopal Church, the Young Methodists for Tradition, dedicated to retaking the United Methodist Church, my organization, my nonprofit, Presbyterians for the Kingdom, dedicated to retaking the PCUSA, and at the latest General Assembly, we had a major victory when we prevented a bunch of conservatives from getting kicked out of the denomination by changing the wording of an overture that was intended to kick conservatives out of the denomination. And SOLA, the Society of Orthodox Lutheran Advocates, dedicated to retaking the ELCA Lutheran Church. But all this time, it's only been for mainline Protestants. Only mainline Protestants have been able to participate in the Reconquista movement. And most of my followers are not mainline Protestants. Most of my followers are something else, whether they are Roman Catholic or Eastern Orthodox Christians or Oriental Orthodox or evangelical Protestants, meaning, Baptists or non-denominationals or whatever, or people in conservative offshoots like the PCA or the ACNA, like historic Protestants that are in denominations that split off from the mainline. So far, most of my followers have not actually been able to participate in the Reconquista because it was only dedicated to retaking the mainline Protestant churches. But I've realized that if Reconquista is to succeed, we need to retake a lot more than just denominations. We need to retake the seminaries that produced all this theological liberalism, which is why the denominations went liberal in the first place. So we need to be retaking universities. We also need to retake a lot of other cultural institutions, because the reason it's so important to retake mainline Protestant churches is it's very important to have a strong, established, culturally powerful church. That's why the Roman Catholic Church does so much great work for the culture, because they have a strong institutional church. Now, Protestants used to have that up until the mainline Protestant churches got hijacked. So it's not a uniquely Catholic thing to have strong institutional churches. It's just a historic Christian thing, and Protestants had that as well up until very recently. We want Protestants to have that again. But we also want people who are not in these Protestant institutions to be able to participate in retaking the broader culture for Christ, because it's a very common pattern. Western culture and the institutions of Western culture have historically been Christian. The West has historically been a Christian culture. As the West gets less Christian, as the institutions of the West, built by Christians, get hijacked by secular progressives, the culture of the West, meaning, America, Britain, Western Europe, goes downhill. And we need to inspire young people to retake the culture for Christ. Now, some people think we do this with politics. I think what really matters is the cultural institutions. So we are expanding the Reconquista movement to retake all the major cultural institutions. We need to retake the major universities. I'm not talking about Billy Bob's Bible College over here. We need to retake the major universities like Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, founded by Bible-believing Protestants, Calvinists, but hijacked by secular progressives. The left never creates anything beautiful. They just hijack what Christians make. And Christians did make all these really powerful institutions. We need to retake them. We also need to retake the major cities. That's how the early Christians took over the Roman Empire. It wasn't with any violence. They went to the cities. These days, Christians are mainly rural and anti-urban. That's not a good thing. The way to control a culture is to control the cities, because culture diffuses from cities outward to the rural areas. The word pagan actually means rural, because in the days of the early church, the cities were being Christianized, while the countryside was still pagan, and that's why the early Christians won. Christians today are losing the culture because Christians still kind of have the rural areas of America, but the cities are very secularized. So we need to retake the cities. We also need to retake the arts. I became Christian at a Christian music camp. The arts and entertainment are very influential on the culture, so we need Christians to have an influence there. So now, any Christian can participate in the Reconquista, whether you're Roman Catholic or Orthodox, or in a PCA or ACNA church, or evangelical, as long as you are doing something to retake a major cultural institution. Whether you are trying to evangelize in a major city, that is something. Or you are trying to evangelize at a major university, or even better yet, trying to get on the board of a major university to not just be present at the university, but actually have some control in the university. Or whether you're trying to promote Christianity in the arts, and I'm talking the elite arts, not, CCM music, but classical music, major orchestras, even mainstream media. We need a Christian influence there, because so frequently the conservative Christian instinct has been to retreat from all these major institutions. They say retreat from the cities, retreat from the major universities, homeschool all your kids, don't send your kids to college, retreat from arts and the media, they're all degenerate, we need to just have our own little thing in our own basements. Reconquista is against that mindset. As long as you don't hold that mindset, as long as you're against that mindset, as long as you believe in retaking rather than retreating, you can be part of the Reconquista. Now, as I've said before, Reconquista is not an organized movement at this point, and it's not meant to be. It's just meant to be an idea, an ideology, in a decentralized movement to inspire a lot of real official organizations like the ones that already have been created through the Reconquista movement. So what I'm going to be doing is the Reconquista Discord server will continue to be only for mainline Protestants, but my main Discord server, the Redeemed Zoomer Discord server, will shift to be a more general Reconquista server so that anyone who wants to participate in retaking culture can be in my Discord server, and my Discord server will start to be more geared towards positive Christian cultural influence and uniting different denominations. Because although we have our differences, I definitely have my differences with Roman Catholics and Baptists and Eastern Orthodox, we are all against the cultural decay that we see in the West. We would all like to see the West become Christianized again, even if it's not necessarily under our preferred denomination. So that is what you're going to see in the future for the Reconquista. I'm going to continue serving on the board of Presbyterians for the Kingdom. We have a lot of good stuff coming with that. We're starting to get a lot more well-known in our denomination after we had that victory at General Assembly. So we have a lot of good things coming, but it's going to be hard, so keep praying for us. God bless.